Good morning. Welcome to my prayer for Tuesday, the 14th of December. And this week we're continuing to look forward to Christmas as we explore the Advent journey towards Jesus through the early chapters of Luke's Gospel. So as we come to pray this morning, let's pause to be still and let us breathe slowly as we recenter our scattered senses upon the presence of God. Lord, in this busy season, please help us to be still. We are opening our ears now to hear you, quietly preparing our hearts for the wonder of your coming at Christmas. And so we rejoice today that God knows us as we join in the ancient praise of all his people in some words from Psalm 139. You made all the delicate inner parts of my body and knit me together in my mother's womb. Thank you for making me so wonderfully complex. Your workmanship is marvelous. How well I know it. You watched me as I was being formed in utter seclusion, as I was woven together in the dark womb. You saw me before I was born. Today we're reflecting on the naming of Jesus' cousin, John. We read from Luke chapter 1, verses 57 to 61. When it was time for Elizabeth to have her baby, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child, and they were going to name him after his father Zechariah. But his mother spoke up and said, "No, he is to be called John." They said to her, "There is no one among your relatives who has that name." Names are often important in the Bible. For example, Sarah and Abraham named their son Isaac, which means laughter. And Jesus changed Simon's name to Peter, which means the rock. It was also common for parents to name their children, their babies, after a family member, which is what Elizabeth and Zechariah's friends expected them to do. And so as we come to pray, let's think about our own names for a moment. What do our names mean to us? Maybe we were named after somebody. Has our name changed? How do we even feel about our names? In the quiet, let's offer all of these thoughts and feelings, the good and maybe the not so good, to God. And let's imagine God smiling and then speaking our names. I know you. I love you, he says. Millions of children around the world have lost both of their parents, often because of war or disease, and they're now orphans. Loving God, the numbers overwhelm us, but do you know the name of every one of these children? We cry out to you today, Lord, have mercy on them. May they find places of safety. May they find family. And so, Lord, as we return to the passage, we open our ears to hear your word and our hearts to yield to your will once again. When it was time for Elizabeth to have her baby, she gave birth to a son. Her neighbors and relatives heard that the Lord had shown her great mercy, and they shared her joy. On the 8th day, they came to circumcise the child, and they were going to name him after his father Zechariah. But his mother spoke up and said, "No, he is to be called John." They said to her, "There is no one among your relatives who has that name." As we think about names, perhaps we're reminded of that old English children's rhyme, which says, "Sticks and stones may break my bones, but names will never hurt me." Of course, it's not true. Name calling can cause great hurt and great distress. Perhaps we can think about nicknames or language that we use with our friends and whether these are harmful and hurtful to them. And so we come to our yielding prayer. Jesus, you are the good shepherd, and you know our names. I yield to the sound of your voice calling my name, and I choose to follow. Help me to use my voice to speak words of encouragement and comfort to all those I meet. And now, as we prepare to take this time of prayer into the coming day, the Lord who loves us says in Isaiah 43 verse 1, "Do not fear, for I have redeemed you. I've summoned you by name. You are mine." Father, help me to live this day to the full, being true to you in every way. Jesus, help me to give myself away to others, being kind to everyone I meet. Spirit, help me to love the lost, proclaiming Christ in all I do and say. Amen. It's interesting that names come into fashion and go out of fashion. But despite all of that, God knows our names, and our names are precious to him because our names remind him of us. So let's be encouraged with our names today, and let's hear God calling our names once again, saying, "I know you and I love you." So have a great day wherever you're going to be traveling to, whatever you're going to be doing. May the Lord bless you, and I look forward to being with you again soon. Bye for now.